Golden Doves, page 99. This is class, I think, 176, bottom of the page. Because the Mishnah was authoritatively formulated, it falls into the category of halacha. Because remember, we said that halachot are authoritative formulations with a precise formulation, although it contains much material which has been classified as agadic, even though the content of the Mishnah is often agadic. For example, Pirkei Avot. It is worth noting that in the manuscripts of the Spanish version of the Igeret Shadira Gaon, the Mishnah includes only halachot, and unlike the printed edition, no Haggadot. Interesting. It's interesting. So in the Spanish version, when it refers to the Mishnah, it says the Mishnah has halachot. It doesn't say the Mishnah has halachot and Haggadot, which is the current version, because so that would make the Spanish version more precise, in so much as that the original meaning of halachot means precise formulations, and the Mishnah doesn't have any Haggadot in precise formulation, because by its nature, the Mishnah was formulated and composed as it was, right? But again, that's the difference between form and content, right? Hence, the term Mishnah was occasionally used in the sense of an authoritative text, right? Now, the word Mishnah doesn't always refer to the Mishnayot formulated by Rabbeinu HaKadosh. It can also refer to an authoritative text. As in the expression, Ena Mishnah, this is not a Mishnah, designating a corrupt baraita. So when you want to refer to a baraita that shouldn't be quoted or that shouldn't be relied on, you say Ena Mishnah. That's great. The terms Tanu Rabbanan, Tanya, Tana, heading the Tanaitic material quoted in the Talmud, serve to indicate the status of the circle which formulated and accepted that tradition. So when you want to have an authoritative baraita that may be relied upon, then you would say Tanu Rabbanan, for example. Not all Tanaitic traditions were authoritatively formulated. Some were never formulated, right? So you can have a Tanaitic tradition that just wasn't formulated into a halacha. Others received authoritative formulation only in Amoritic times. These are the Tanaitic traditions transmitted under the title Itma. So when you have an Itma, what that means is it's a halacha, in so much as it's a precise formulation that is to be relied upon. It's authoritative. But since the formulation wasn't made until the Amoritic times, you're not going to say Tanu Rabbanan or Tanya. That's from the Tanaitic times. Then say Itma. So that's a term that designates Amoritic provenance. There were still others, such as Hilchot Derech Eretz, which, although actually formulated, were not perceived as authoritative, and therefore fall into the category of Haggadot. That's very interesting. So you have Hilchot Derech Eretz. Hilchot. Why is it called Hilchot Derech Eretz? Because it was formulated. But just because it was formulated as a composition in a precise manner doesn't mean that it's authoritative, right? So they were authoritative, but they were put into the category of Haggadot because you couldn't rely on them. So halacha means a well-formulated, precisely formulated composition, which is to be relied upon, which does have authority. There is a passage in the Palestinian Talmud discussing the permissibility of reading extra-canonical books bearing directly upon this subject. The correct version was presented by Rabbi Shimon ben Semach Duran, and here it is. And let me just check the footnote for a moment. That's footnote 30, Sanhedrin 10. Well, I mean, this is Talmud Yerushalmi, right? So, right. Okay, let's read what he says. Concerning all the rest of the books that were written from now on, whoever reads them, it says one who reads Agadot. Interesting. Agadot. He refers to the books, the outside books, as Agadot. That's very interesting use of the word Agadah. Why? Because it is written, of making many books there is no end. Asot sefarim harbe en kes. And much study is weariness of the flesh. Velah galvei yigiat basar. For reading they were given, but for toil they were not given, because they were not authoritative. So you can read it, but because they're not authoritative, don't be amel in this. Okay. This is okay. All right, let's continue now. The sense of this passage is obvious. Haggadot may be read, right? How, of course, you can read Haggadot. Why not? However, they were not subject to official redaction and publication, and should not be studied and analyzed with the intensity suitable for other writings. You understand? So if you're reading Agadah, it's Torah, of course, but don't be amel in the lashon. Why did he use this word and not that word? And right? This is a reason, as we shall see, why some rabbinic authorities did not find fault with and even recommended the study of written copies of Haggadot. There's nothing wrong with that. There was little danger that people would attribute it to copies of unformulated text the status of written books, because they were. The specific intention of this passage will be particularly clear upon examining the concepts of written and oral law. So that's going to be in the next section. I guess it'll be class 177 on the Golden Dust when we got there.